Wow. Hi, everybody. I'm hoping that the notification went out. I'm just going to try and put up another one. Just so that... Hi, Sakura. How are you doing? Oh, I forgot lipstick. Let me get some lipstick. I'll be right back. Okay. Well, there's a reason why I'm wearing this top, and I'll tell you in a second. Let me just get some lipstick on. I'm good, thank you. Hi, Peaches. How you doing? Of course, I went to go and sign on. Hi, Jody. I went to go and sign on, and they had put in a new level of security if you wanted to be streaming. So you can imagine the frustration of that. And then it said it would take 24 hours to verify it. Okay. Allergies. And I forgot to take any pills. Okay, so here we go. Jody, yeah, I know. It was very stressful. And, you know, I was doing so well when I woke up today, and I was getting ready to get broadcasting. And then I suddenly realized that the clock in my bathroom had stopped. So when I thought I had an hour and a half to go, I actually had 20 minutes. Stress. All right, so this is DearMamaSal, and today we're going to be discussing whether our choices actually determine our reality. And while we're waiting for people to get here, I thought what I'd do... Oh, that's good, Peaches. We like people on pain meds. And we always remember Pat when she was on pain meds. It was very exciting. Yeah, anyway, so I sort of got behind the 8 ball here, and I don't know if any of you have ever done that. So it's going to take me a little while just to settle. Do you know what I'm saying? Because my adrenaline level just pumped up rather high. And so what I thought I'd do, just while we're waiting for everybody to get here, is I thought I'd show you what I do. This is the painting I did last Saturday. And first of all, I tried it on a small piece of paper, about half this size. But then I tried it on this size paper. And I really still like the colors together. And when I realized that those colors working together look good, I then did a big one. So you ready? This is the big one. So what do you think? And one of my people on, looks like cats, interesting. One of the people on my website where I'm part of a club, the people that do acrylic painting, she called it Total Explosion of the Heart. You see the heart in here? It's very difficult to do that when I can't do it from the front, and I thought that was, Explosion of the Heart was quite a nice name for it. I'm still trying to see the cats. Yeah, but I've got so many that are seafoam. So to me, I need another unusual name. But as you can see, it's quite a large size piece of art. So, all right. But do you understand? I tested all at first on the bottom of the heart. Looked like cats. Okay, come on. I'm gonna have to look again now. The bottom of the heart. Oh, I see. With two eyes. Okay. Yes, it's on melamine. Oh, I tell you something, Jody, you're getting to be an expert at these things. I want to tell you, melamine is wonderful to paint on. It is amazingly easy to paint on, and it is way, way cheaper than canvas. So that's good. All right, now I just want to remind you that if you are, at any time, if you have a subject for a broadcast, please write to us at DearMamaSal@gmail.com. And that's really important because sometimes I won't get to it, but what I will do is I will start keeping suggestions in groups of topics and then try and either use them as vlogs or as broadcasts. Make sense? So I really appreciate the support on that. Okay, now the next thing is, I found a really nice quote from J.K. Rowling, and she of Harry Potter fame. And she said this, she said, "It's our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are, far more than our abilities." How many of you agree with that? It's the choices we make that determine our life, rather than, how much money we have, or how much, how many degrees we've got, or whatever. It's the choices that we make that actually determine our lives. Yeah, and I was thinking about, seeing as it's in the news at the moment, Mark Zuckerberg, and all those millions. And then he was so busy, working on the millions that somebody got in the back door and hacked him. Of all people, you don't expect Facebook to be vulnerable. And so, I couldn't help but think that was, and wow, what an incredibly gracious way he is handling it. I'm actually amazed that that man appears to be so together. He's not bombastic. He takes accountability for the mistake. I want to tell you something. I've been really impressed with his demeanor all around. I don't know if you've seen him on television, and Sandberg as well. It's just like they're not pushing blame on other people. They're just going, we didn't get ahead of it, and we should have done. So, and you can imagine how much money they will have lost in terms of the stock going down. So that is really important. Now, the next thing I want to do is give you a bit of, hi, May, to give you a bit of update on viewers. And I just need to pull up an email here. Just bear with me a second, because I got an email this morning from Erin. I've just got to get to it. Okay. So for those of you who know Erin, she sent me this email, and with permission to let you all know. And I quote, "I went to my liver doctor today, going to start a new immunosuppressant probably today. Today is a really high dose because my liver numbers had basically stayed the same. We're going to try that for a week at 500 milligrams, and then I'm going to be tested next Friday to see what my numbers are. Next Friday, if my numbers haven't got any better, she will up the dosage even higher, and then we will test again. If they start to lower the prednisone zone, if they haven't gotten better, then we'll have to wean off the prednisone. But if they don't, She said they might have to take another liver biopsy because there might be something else wrong with me. And if it doesn't work, I'm starting on this addition to the prednisone that I'm already on. So what we just got to pray, we've just got to pray and hope it actually works. I have faith that it will, so please keep me in your prayers. As far as my pressure sore, it's getting much better on its own, and it's very small. I highly doubt surgery will be needed by the time it comes around. That is a very good thing, considering my doctor does not want me to go into surgery on these steroids. I think it's about, I think that's about it. Hopefully everything makes some kind of sense. I wanted to tell you before the broadcast today, please feel free to share whatever you wish, and thank you so much for your support and love. Wow. And sometimes it gets a little difficult to read what Erin types, because she's typing in an awkward position. So there we go. I think we got it. So that's good to know. And also for those of you who know Lauren, just to let you know that she is doing a lot better. Lauren, I was just seeing if she's here. Unfortunately, it doesn't show me all on one screen. Lauren has gone back to her hospital close to home, which is great because now she gets to see the family. And also, she is very pleased that, I'm just trying to think how to describe this. Well, she had a little thing happen this week where she thought she might have shingles. But luckily, the problem has sorted itself out and they don't think it is. All right, now then, to tell you why I'm wearing tartan. It's tartan day. Did you know that? And I had to think to myself, what have I got that's tartan? And I think this is the only piece of clothing I have that is tartan. And it's a cardigan, and I have it especially for Christmas time. It's my Christmas cardigan. So do any of you have tartan? If so, try and put it on today. Yeah, I know. I try and check these things, All right. So just an update on people's birthdays. We have 2 this week. We have Paul on the 12th. And for those of you who remember Adam from Ohio, he is on the 14th. And in terms of news is very important to me. Next Sunday, I will be away. Oh, and Sakura, just hold on one second. Let me make a note of that, because otherwise, I will forget. Just hold on one second. On the, what did you say? On the 8th. Okay. I'll try and get that into the system for you. Oh, that's wonderful, Sakura. That's you do love doing those sort of things, don't you? I had 2 birthdays this week, and I had great fun in the craft room, learning something new. How many of you learned anything new this week? Anybody? The reason I say that is I really do try to find something every week to teach myself that I haven't done before. And I really want to encourage you, and I'll talk about that. It's a choice that we make, by the way. And everybody goes, I can remember once somebody saying to me, oh, you're so clever, you know how to do so many things. And I went, yeah, because I tried so many things. Right? How many of you enjoyed the casserole dish video? And how many of you heard how scared I was, using etching acid? I was terrified. It was just like, I'm so scared to do this. And what if the Pyrex breaks and da-da-da-da? And then, when I did the test run, it was like, I didn't think it had worked. I don't know if you could hear that in my voice. When I went to go and clean the acid off, I didn't think it had etched at all. And then when I saw the little pattern, I went, oh, that works. It was so exciting. Yeah, I was really pleased with it. And now I've just got to wrap it up and do that. Anyway, I'm glad that you enjoyed that. So this week, I learned how to do pop-up cards, birthday cards, right? So when you open it up, something pops out at you. So I'm going to edit that hopefully this week for you. All right. So next Sunday, I'm going to be away and I'm going to be the guest of other people. Now that means, hi, Carrie, that means that I might not be able to do a broadcast. I'm going to hope that I can, because they're really nice people and they know what I do. So, but it may be a shorter one, but I will do what I can to make sure that we get a broadcast. So I'm not going to say we're not going to do it, just as I will get there on Saturday. So I will talk to them about it on Saturday night and see what they've got planned. I know they've got a special party or something planned for me, so I'm a bit concerned. And then I'm staying there Sunday, and then Monday I do a speech locally for in the area. So you understand, as a guest of somebody else, I cannot expect that they're going to have the same environment, but I will do, I've tried to do live broadcasts from wherever I am, so I will do my best, even if I have to go outside and sit in my car and do it. Which, as long as they got Wi-Fi, it's possible to do. Now then, how many of you have noticed that I've managed to get the replays so that we don't have the chat showing? So, but if you notice, I'm still talking about what people are saying, so people who are on the replay. Okay, Peaches, help me here. You said, tell us more about this. Oh, speaking event. You know that every year I speak to the young people, and I have been doing that for 30 years. I open and close a leadership convention for young people, and it's amazing, really, that, that I'm still opening and closing it after 30 years, but I am. So it's put on by the Rotary, and one of the Rotary clubs down on Whitby Island has asked me to come and speak to them. So I said I'd be delighted to, because they've heard my name a lot, but they've never met me. Do you know what I mean? The young people come back and go, well, Sal did this and Sal did that, and Sal did this and Sal did that, and that because I hear about it later. And so I'm going to say, and this is Sal, and make sure, and I'm going to talk about being an inspiration, just so that you know that that'll be my topic. And the reason for that is next year's theme for Rotary is to be an inspiration. And I think it's fair to say that the 30 years I have been. So I want to talk a little bit about what it takes to be inspiring. And it's not what a lot of people think it is. So my question to you would be, if you find me inspiring, what is it that makes me inspiring? Think about that. What is it that you find inspiring about what I do? I'll have a sip of coffee while you think about it. It's interesting. You see me as fearless. Isn't that interesting? And so do the young people. That's very interesting, Peaches. Because that's never a word that's never a word. Hi, Sharon. It's never a word I would use about myself, is that I'm fearless. My compassion, yeah, and my energy. Yeah, Kerry says my determination. As Jody says, I just don't quit. My openness and charisma. Boy, I need to. And Jody, can you write some of these words down for me just so that I can put them into my speech? Oh, that I'm relatable. All right, that's interesting. And that's what you find as adults. And I'm pretty sure the young people, I think the young people love that I still try things. And so this business about being fearless, that I still try things. For example, this year, I tried a handstand, at 70. Who at 70, is stupid enough to try handstands, right? But the young people really love that. And they love my experiences. They love that I have driven single-seat racing cars, that I have done all these things in my life. They really love that. And I think also more than anything, and that's the thing that I'm going to talk about. Yes, I'm very curious. Have you noticed that, Dale? I love to experiment. It's just like, do you know how long I've had that etching cream in my house? A year and a half. I once bought, and I've got it in the garage, I once bought a bandsaw. You know what that is? It's like a vertical saw that looks like it could take your hand off very easily. And, it was on sale. So I thought it was a good idea to get it because I like gizmos, right? And do you know that I had it in my garage for probably 2 months? And I set it up on the workbench so that in those days I could get my car into my garage, but I set it up on the workbench so every day I could look at it. And what I needed it to do was to stop looking so scary. Does that make sense to anybody? It's like the etching cream. I knew one day I would play with it. But at the moment, I wasn't quite as fearless as you think. I just numb myself. Does that make sense? It's like, thank you, Jody. Jody's saying, you're undeniably fun. A pleasure to know. You make me smile every day. That's wonderful. You like the fact, Peaches, that I say, I won't be late. I say, I will be on time. Yes, but I learned that, Peaches. I learned that quite often what we say determines. Like, have you noticed that people, if you say to people, will you be there on Saturday? I'll try. I always laugh and go, okay, fine. Oops. Okay, I just lost the screen. That means no. So I'll be surprised to see you. You see, because if you intend to be there, you'll say yes. If you say, I'll try, it means, oh, I tried. Yeah, that doesn't cut it with me. The other thing is I like people to be accountable. The young people will always, when I'm doing an event, will be, hey, Sal, do I have enough time to do X, Y, and Z? And I'll go, I don't know. Do you? I'm not their mother. I hold young people accountable. Does that make sense? I literally do not, I try very hard. I actually do work very hard at not being their mother. Now, I can hug them to death, you know that. They like that too. But I talk to them as an adult. I don't talk to them as children because they're not to me. They are just mini-me's. Oh, that would be a nice title, wouldn't it? How to inspire the mini-me's. Yeah, I overcome my fear. Thank you, Carrie. It's lovely to know I make you guys smile. All right, so I don't know if you guys know, but we're working very hard. I was up until very early in the morning on a new promotional mailing list. In other words, I want to create the VIP list. And the VIP list are people that really are what I call the solid followers. I want to make sure that you guys get advance notice of anything that's about to go into the shop. In other words, the day that I release this stuff into the shop, I will also release it to you. So if there's anything there that you really like, you'll know that it just went in and so forth. I'll also be putting in there any changes that we're making. All right. So what I want to do is create, for those of you who are part of December, you know, I have this street team of people that are what I call the special viewers. Right. And it's like I want to create that here with DearMamaSal, because what I've noticed is a few of you really are great supporters. But I want to make sure that I don't overload you with emails. It'll be for those of you who join. Number one, you'll get special discounts. And number two, you will get advance notice of stuff that's about to happen. So the thing is, if you want to be part of that, again, please write to me at dearmamasal@gmail.com and just put in the title, yes to the list. Does that make sense? Oops. Helps if I can have my cursor in the right place. Well, helps if I don't make typos as well. I'm consistent, right? Here we go. Listen, that's 3 times I got it wrong. Now then, I don't quit. Just Jody will tell you. This time I will check it before I hit enter. There we go. Now that's another thing I really want to encourage you. How many of you try things and the first time you get it wrong, you go, I didn't want to do it anyway. I talk about Jody because Jody always picks up on the fact that I really do keep going until I get there. Now, in terms of that, I want to tell you that for the 5 years of doing DearMamaSal, I have had on my to-do list that I need to create a DearMamaSal mailing list of VIPs. But I needed the technology. I needed to understand things enough to be able to do it. And, you know, there are all these fancy programs that do it and da-da-da-da. And I waited long enough, and I just found out to my surprise that Google now has the ability to do what I wanted to do. And so now I'm creating all sorts of things. And so one of the things that I'm now going to do is the VIP thing will be a newsletter, you know, and I'm going to design this newsletter for you. Very exciting for me. But takes a lot of work. Yeah. You see, I agree that, Peaches. Somebody once told me, you're in exactly the right place at the right time. Right? Your speed is the right speed for you. Does that help anybody? Actually, that would be a really good topic for a broadcast, right? I have to write it down because, you know, at my age, I will forget. I always remember somebody saying that to me. And hi, Missy, Linda, how are you doing? I have struggled for 5 years to understand my mind. You know, I was sick for a long time. My mind wasn't working. Yes, the universe aligns. Okay, so there we go. Now then, it is possible, and I'm giving this some thought, that I may decide to create a special club where only members of that club will get to see the replays of the broadcast. I might leave them up for, you know, a day, but then they go away. So if you want to catch any rebroadcast, you need to be, you know, part of the mailing group. Because to me, I think you need a special group of people that will want to watch them. Not everybody is going to want to watch them. So here we go. All right. What else have I got to say in terms of you want to join that list, right? I think you might already. Have you ever written to me? I think you've written to DearMamaSal. You will be getting an email, but feel free to write to me at dearmamasal@gmail.com, and we'll double check and I'll get a form out for you so that we can do that. All right, so here we go. The time, Jody, if you could just make a note for me because that will help me, is 30:45. I'm starting a VIP mailing list and a newsletter. So the people on the VIP list will get advance warning of anything that's gone into the shop in the last couple of weeks. I won't be sending a whole lot to you, probably twice a month, right? And sort of, what broadcasts have gone up, those sort of things. But basically, I'm more concerned about the fact that, the people on that list will get special discounts and get advanced warning on stuff. That to me is, I think you guys deserve that. So I wanted to thank you for all of you who actually have been following the broadcast, because it really has been incredible what a shift it has made in our brand, if you like. And I really, really, really appreciate that. It's always a difficult to do change, but this has been working for us. All right, here we go. This is the main subject at 31:54, Jody. Our choices determine our reality. Our choices determine our reality. So here are a few questions for you, and let's see how you do. Off the top of your head, what major choice did you make that brings you to where you are today? Can you think of any? And I'd like to add that, I came to Canada. I came here to get married. And had I not made that choice, I guess I wouldn't be here talking to you today. Kerry decided that she was going to quit being a victim. And that choice, and it's difficult, isn't it, Kerry? As my friend Laurie says, that ignorance was bliss. Ignorance is bliss. If you can not realize that you're a victim, it's actually much easier than when you realize that you are. Because once you realize you're a victim, you need to do something about it or stay stuck. Ugh. And I've been there and done that, so I know. Yeah. Yeah. And Linda's saying that her major decision was to think about herself before the family every now and then. Wow. And Sakura's saying she decided to open up and then eventually move to the US to be in a very healthy relationship. Oh, we're so happy for you, Sakura. Yeah. And Jody's saying she chose to find joy in each day, despite her physical limitations. Yeah. What if this is as good as it gets, right, Jody? I know that has really helped me. Whenever I've had what I call, if you remember when I was struggling last year with the possibility of having cancer, I just remember saying, what if this is as good as it gets? Maybe this is my good time now. And what I did was I started to paint. And if I hadn't done that, you wouldn't be seeing this, right? So I'm a great believer that our choices create this reality for us. I like to think that if I hadn't spoken to young people, I'd never have met Benji, for those of you who know Benji. If I hadn't met Benji, I wouldn't be on YouTube. So my choice to befriend Benji as a young person, and remember he was 18 at the time, he was so sweet. And So do you understand that because I befriended him and became a mentor to him, that's why you get to see me, because it was Benji who put me, who put me on YouTube. Peaches, give it some thought this week, all right? I want you to start doing a timeline of your life, if you can, and have a look at, what made you move from one apartment to another? What made you move? You know what I mean? There are different little decisions that you made. And if you think about it, and if you draw the map almost, you will see that you made choices that got you to where you are. Now, some people don't want to take accountability. Now, it's easy to do that if you're saying, oh, my life is wonderful. Yay. But what if your life sucks at the moment? Not many people want to be accountable for that as well. But do you understand that either way, you made the choices? Now, I've got hair on my nose. Don't you hate that? On it, not in it. Hi, Rose. So this week, I got a call from the Darth Vader people. For those of you who know, I have got a sleep apnea mask, right? And I made the choice to go and try that out. Jody was amazed that when I tried it out, I apparently had 100% compliance. I didn't try it and it was uncomfortable, so I ripped it off my face and didn't continue. I literally put that mask on from day one, and I have been working really hard to be compliant. I got a call from I call it my Darth Vader mask, right? Because it's what it looks like. And I put on my Darth Vader mask, and they told me when they phoned me this week that I am down to 2% instances per hour, and sometimes just one. Now, for those of you who don't know the story, I literally was waking myself up 16 times an hour, choking before I wore this mask, 16 times an hour, and then another 15 times with restless leg. Now, you add that up. That's 31 times an hour I was waking myself up. They proved that, right? So you know that I wasn't getting any sleep. Yes. Linda is reminding me that a few years ago, I said the best revenge that you can give anybody is to do well. Instead of being a victim, and instead of getting angry with people, if people are criticizing you and doing whatever, on principle, and Kerry, the signal I want to give you, but we're on live now, so I'm not going to do that. But it's like, on principle, I will do the best I can. Now, Linda, I need you to know, when we first met Linda, she was a smoker. And she was a smoker with good reason. I don't mind telling you that. She had a lot of stress in her life. And some of you know that I was also a smoker, and I had smoked a lifetime until about 5.5 years ago. And in fact, I quit, right? I quit after I started YouTube. Wow, that's amazing. I started YouTube in the August, and then I made the decision to quit in January. And yes, and Kerry was as well, right? So they both made decisions after I gave up smoking. Now, I gave up smoking as a choice. I tried all my life to give up smoking. And, my doctor had given up on that I would ever do it, of course. And I decided I was going down to meet little Juliana. She'd been born in the October, and I was going down to meet her. And also Benji and Judy had just got a new house. And I literally sanitized a suitcase, and I washed my clothes and packed them in plastic so that they wouldn't get that smoke smell to them. And then at 9:30 on January the 12th, at 9:30 in the morning, I put on a patch. And I would have to say it was probably the 15th time I'd given up smoking in my life. I would think at least. So for those of you who've quit and haven't done it yet, don't quit. Do you know what I mean? Don't quit on yourself. Keep quitting as many times as it takes, because one day it's going to work. And I want to tell you, those of you who know I'm downsizing, I threw out cigarettes. I had cigarettes in the house the whole time because my principle was, if I have quit, I can have cigarettes in the house. And everybody said to me, oh, the temptation, why would you do that to yourself? And I'm going, no, because if I've quit, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so Peaches, you do whatever it takes, right? Don't quit. Keep every year I hope you write goals every year, but keep adding it to the list, because one day it'll work. One day. It's a bit like the mailing list thing, right? One day it'll all make sense. One day your brain will, be in sync. So do that. Yeah, don't try. Do. Right, keep asking yourself, okay, I tried that. Now, what am I going to try this year? Or I've tried that. What am I going to, keep experimenting. One day, I want to tell you, if I hadn't found the vaping machine, I would not have been able to quit. There was something about being able to continue to vape. Kerry will tell you, she vapes as well. There was something about that. Yeah, don't quit on yourself, Linda. You're right. I did say that to you. Well, we do, don't we? We do quit on ourselves, right? Things are difficult. Now, would you like to know how I do some of the difficult things in the downsizing? All right, because you understand, I take everything in life as a lesson. Some lessons I learn, some I'm still practicing. And I'm a great believer that life will continue to give you the lessons until you get it. When you get it, you don't get the lessons anymore. They give you bigger and better ones. All right. So here we go, right? I get up in the morning, and because I've got to the stage in the downsizing where the big, easy stuff is gone now I've got to start dealing with the yucky stuff. Do you know what I mean? The drawer that you've been throwing things into. It's okay, Triona, you're here. Top of the evening to you. I will let the viewers tell you what you missed out on. How's that? Yes, it's not about money, is it? It's about, Linda's just saying that you brought it back to me, Sal, and it's not about the money. No, it's about, what do you want to do with your life? Okay, so I'm downsizing and I'm doing the difficult bits. All right, how many of you relate to that? How many of you know I would much rather go and paint? I would even much rather bake bread, or maybe even pull my own teeth out than sort out gunk. Right. So you all got that picture. But what I do now is, when I get up in the morning, the very first thing that I do is 2 hours of downsizing. And it doesn't, I've got a sort of priority list. Now, actually, I can do this, I think, because we're clever. Yeah, I just want to show you what I did this week. Hang on. I'm disconnecting my, you always wanted me to do this, I know. I'm going to take you on. All right, you still with me? So, I just don't want to trip because that would make for a very, oh, wait a minute. Okay, can you still hear me? I disconnected the microphone. All right, so I want to show you this bookcase. Okay. So this thing, whoops, that way. All right. Now that looks like it would be really easy to clean that. How many of you agree with me? Now let me tell you what the truth was. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. All right. Now the truth was, and I'm going to do, I'll put it up in a blog. Wrong one. I need to plug it back in again. All right. Okay, so I missed what Trendy said. Hold on 1 second. I can't even see what they said, and that's probably a good thing, right? If you guys thought that it was a troll. Okay, that's what, no, but that's what we have moderators for. Okay, so whatever it was. However, for those of you who saw the bookcase, did that look like it would be a really easy thing to do? All right, just take it apart and put it back together again. Here is what I actually took. When I took the unit down, I found out that when I originally painted this room, I didn't paint the two walls either side of that bookcase. I must have painted the room and thought the next thing I need to do is take down that bookcase and repaint either side, and I never did. And I didn't know that until I took the bookcase down. The other thing was, and you'll see it in the video, you don't want to know how dirty that bookcase was. And seeing as we were talking about, smoking, you know, I am pretty sure that some of what I took off that unit was cigarette smoke. So that's, yeah, pretty obvious. And I think it came from the underneath. The horn isn't missing. It's right here. Because what I'm doing, Linda, is I need to get rid of all the, the important to me stuff. When you get your house ready to put on the market, you need to depersonalize it. All right. So you don't want anything that's going to stop somebody and they're going to go, oh, ew, don't like that. For example, this needs to go. All right. This will also disappear in the near future. I will probably leave the little prints up there. Those two paintings will go. All right. So what they recommend you do is you clear every surface and only leave one thing on a surface, whatever the surface is. So the bookcase, by the way, what I'm doing is I'm clearing a section and then I take a picture and send it to my realtor and go, okay, are you happy with this now? And when I showed her a picture of the bookcase, she just went, wow. So it was a bit cluttered before, if any of you relate to that. Okay, so do you understand that when the point that I'm trying to make here is every morning, first of all, I went behind my couch, where the windows are. And that was not a good idea. Again, I thought I was just going to clean behind there and that would be great. Well, I found all sorts of nyaga nyaga. That is Zulu for the brown sticky stuff. I found all sorts of nyaga nyaga behind my couch. Somebody had painted my ceiling for me and dropped ceiling paint all over it. All those sort of things. I found that the dust bunnies had been there and made home. I found some crawly things that were in that area as well for some reason. So it was, and then I found, to my horror, things like the moisture had come down off the windows and into the tracks, and they were gross. So, it was something that I thought was going to take a couple of hours, taken me a couple of weeks. Does that make sense? But I start every day and I just do 2 hours. It doesn't matter what I do. Just, if I start doing the bookcase and it bores me, I move on to something else. But I need to spend the first 2 hours of my life doing that. So I actually get dressed in my painting clothes because they can get dirty and I can touch up paint. So, Kerry knows nyaga nyaga. Yeah, it's a great word, isn't it? Oh, 2 words. So Kerry knows that was one of my goals for the week, was to actually pull that down and clean it. And boy, you have no idea how much work that was. But how does it feel? How does it feel now that I've done it, right? The decision I made to actually keep doing a little bit every day. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? So every day I did a little bit more. And the bookcase was all over my living room floor, or the unit was all over my living room floor for nearly a week. I had Yvonne help me pull it apart Sunday. And I put it back together by myself. Yay. Yesterday. So I am very, very happy. So do you understand what I'm saying here about the choices you make? All right. The choices you make have brought you to where you are. Progress, however small. Yes, Peaches. So, all right. How many of you were around at the time when I started painting? Okay. When I started painting back in August, I was painting on bits of paper this big because that was where my confidence level was. Do you remember? I've still got them, by the way. I've kept them, and I'm going to, and I want you to see. And also, I didn't want to waste a lot of paper, canvases and goodness. I wanted to learn how to do it first, right? And now I've got my own studio, and now I've got, a much better idea of what I love to do. And, these big ones I love to do. It gives me great pleasure to do that. But again, and this is the point that I'm trying to make to you, every day that I paint, I start on half one of these. And if I like the color combination, if it looks good, I will move up to this size. If it still looks good when it's on this size, I will go up to a big one. Now, do you understand? Some days I never get past the half sheet of paper. Does that make sense? Like the mixture doesn't work. I call it a mud pie day, which means that it just never came together. And sometimes, like life, right? Sometimes, like life. So here again, okay. I'm just looking at my notes here, but I was thinking about, we made this decision, or I made the decision to come and do the broadcasts on YouTube. That was a decision. Now, you guys won't see what that has done for me, but I know that the figures for DearMamaSal just went like this. Not necessarily in subscribers, but in viewing time and everything else, obviously, because we do a broadcast. But here is the interesting thing. Because of that, the ripple effect has been really interesting. I've seen a dramatic increase in the number of people going to the DearMamaSal website as well. I've seen, you know what I mean? So it's been like the one thing affected everything else. Now, it's taken me 5 years to get this far, even with doing YouTube and doing broadcasting to the world. And in a way, if I wanted to, and I wonder if any of you can understand that, I could look at it and say, actually, I'm doing less than I used to, right? At one stage, I was doing better than this. But I was doing it differently. And now I feel I'm really, comfortable in my integrity on why I'm doing it and how I'm doing it and everything else. And that's taken 5 years for me to get comfortable with. It'll be very interesting to see, if God grants me another 5 years, where we are in another 5 years, right? And by the way, how many of you remember when we hit 1 million views? When was that? January? We're already at 1,035,000, just so that you know, right? That's what starts to happen when you pass 1 million. Yeah. So the lesson here is, please don't quit on yourself, right? Because every choice you make in your life has brought you to where you are, and every choice you make every day . Now, Linda, why can't you paint? Now, see, this is another discussion. Linda's saying, I get it, not with painting, because I can't do that, but similar with crocheting. Yeah, so the whole thing is, the reason you can't paint is because you haven't spent enough time at it. I believe everybody is creative. I really do. I seriously believe everybody is a mechanic. Hi, Erin. Good to see you, honey. I did update people when they came on, Erin. I read out your email, and that prednisone stuff is, I know, very, very difficult. So let's hope they can wean you off. Sending you a big hug, Erin. All right, so you understand, does anybody else have a life-changing moment? Can you think back to where you made a decision in your life where it actually changed your life? Do you understand that for me, for example, deciding to fall in love with a Canadian sort of changed my life? Ah, gosh, thanks, Peaches. I really appreciate that. Big hugs to you. So do you understand that actually falling in love with a Canadian and deciding to come to Canada changed my life? So you look at it and you go, we really need to see that decisions that we make every day can change our life for the better. For example, I'm learning to put things away. And is anybody else challenged with that? I think Linda is, right? I seem to remember Linda and I. Sakura, if she's still here. Sakura proved that point to herself, right? She did a little bit every day and totally cleared up a room. Yeah, so I am literally learning, but I'm doing it by room now. I've managed to keep my bathroom perfectly tidy for a couple of months, so I think that's a pretty good indication. They say if you can do something for 21 days straight, it's in your psyche. So I would say I am about 99% good about getting my bedroom tidy before I leave it to go and do the downsizing. I can't say 100% because one day this week I left the bed unmade. But yeah, but you see, that's why I don't draw stickmen. This is why I just huck paint at canvases, and they call that art. Well, you see, Sakura, this is the whole thing. Face the dragon, right? Here's the dragon. I work really hard now at facing the dragon. As you will see in the video I'm going to put up on the pop-up cards, it is not easy to do, right? It takes a lot of thought. Now, for so long, I realize now that the reason I haven't done these things is because my brain wasn't working properly, and I got so overwhelmed so quickly that I couldn't do anything. And whereas now I'm noticing, now that the oxygen is getting into my brain again, I've got more patience with stuff. Now, the other thing is this, and you'll hear me say this as well. It takes as long as it takes. Now, Jody is really good. Now, she has got a what I call a little table next to her, all right? And she can clear that table now, and she does it quite quickly. So, Jody, I'm going to put out a challenge to you, and just look around your clutter and sort of go like this, all right? Or even go like this. And see a small space and go, okay, I'm going to work on that this week. Yes, Sakura, it takes time and courage to do it. I want to tell you, Triana, it's amazing what it has done. It is amazing to me what it has done. Because I really can see that I could go back into my bathroom now, and I could get rid of probably another half of it if I wanted to. I now sort of understand most of my clutter is about, I don't want to throw that away. I might use it one day. Right? I could still throw away half my eye makeup. No problem. I could throw away half my lipsticks. No problem. How many hairbrushes have you got, everybody? Yeah, and that's what I found, Jody, is pick a little thing, right? Now, Jody, I used to have a table next to my bed as well as my computer table, which holds my coffee and my remote. But, I also had the table where I would put things. So, Jody, I don't have the table anymore. Guess what I did? So what I did, and I want you to get your mind wrapped around this, because don't say I can't do that because of my disabilities. Think about what can I do, right? Don't think about what you can't do. As I tell you this, think about, what can I do? What I did was I took the table out of the room. It's like, bye-bye table. I do nothing but throw my junk on there. Okay, no problem, Kerry. Kerry's just saying that she keeps disappearing because there's a repairman there fixing her furnace. Like I noticed, Kerry. Mind you were quiet now that I think about it. Okay, so Jody got rid of the table. Decision, right? The decision I made has cleaned up another part of my bedroom. But what did I do with the stuff I put it in the right places. Now, the other thing is there's certain stuff that you use all the time, all right, when you're in your bed. And I have shoe boxes, right? And I have one shoe box, that's what I call my rubbish box. And I have a QB next to me that is my accounts box. And you know what I mean? I've got little things near me that I can huck things into. They do not go on a table anymore. The remotes have their own place during the day, but at night they're in the shoe box during the night that stays on my bed. So my question is, how many of you are getting light bulbs going off at the moment going, I think I could do this if I really concentrated? Now then, this whole marketing idea has been in the works for 5 years. But, the planets weren't aligned, and I felt like such a loser because I hadn't done some of these things, but I didn't feel, yeah, I was as well, Triona. People are saying here, and for the people who are watching this on the replay, people are talking about Kerry's repairman. Everybody had a vision of what he looked like, and I'm sure it's nothing like what he looked like. But it's amazing where our fantasies go, isn't it? So do you understand? I've had the marketing thing in my plan for the longest time, just never ever put it all together. And so now I want to talk about what can you see changed your life? All right, because I want to talk about that. Can you think of a decision in your life now that you get the idea that every decision changed your life some way? Right? If you choose not to repair your car, what happens, right? Be careful how you say that, Kerry. Some of us are 70, But every decision that you have made either made you happy or made you sad. So can any of you give any? I mean, I could talk about mine all day long, but I would really like some of you to realize one decision that you made in a lifetime. Let's see if you can do that. Ah, Nicholas, big hug from Canada. Isn't that wonderful? Nice to see you, Nicholas. I mean, hear you. Oh, no, I can't hear you, but I hear from your mommy that you're watching. You're not that old, right? Kerry's saying, no disrespect to you, Sal. I like older men, just not that old. Yeah, but some of them might be young at heart. So for those of you who are watching the replay, think about this. What decisions can you identify that you made? By the way, have any of you, oh, Jody, what an incredible thing. My decision to join the Dear Mama Sal group made me very happy. And that's made you happy overall, Jody? Do I understand that correctly? It's like, and Linda says the same thing, right? Linda realizes that she was a victim when she first came to Dear Mama Sal. Sakura saying, I decided not to clean for 2 weeks to rest my aching back. But on the other hand, it was frustrating, and I started to see that, oh, there you go. But you started to see that some stuff will wait. Yes. So, Jody, you're saying that actually being part of the broadcast, being part of the day-to-day of Dear Mama Sal actually has changed every aspect of your life? Really? Now, Triona, with a wonderful Irish sense of humor, says, not doing the lottery in my local shop. And apparently there was a win there. Yeah, that could have changed your life, right? Well, Sharon, I love that. Sharon says that she stalked what is that called? A voyeur. She was a voyeur of Dear Mama Sal until for quite a while. But you see, I think it's really important that you realize that being happy isn't about somebody else doing something for you. Being happy is about an attitude, right? So our choices to be happy sometimes take us a long time to get those bits together. Do you understand that I have not actually been in my studio this week because I was in the craft room? All right. I have 2 days a week where I'm allowed to be artistic in my life. And this week I chose to do crafts because I wanted to learn how to do pop-up cards. Yeah, you'll see them. But now it's time for me to throw paint at some more melamine, probably this week. Now, do you understand that I have made a decision that I am going to go away next weekend? And that's going to put extra stress on me. I have less time to be creative. I have less time to do this and the other. But, I need to let go of what I'm going to lose and concentrate on what I'm going to gain. I'm going to meet friends. I'm going to make an impact, hopefully, on some people. Do you understand? So let me not live in the past. Let me look at the future. Yes. Now, Erin here is saying, Erin moved out of the family home and into a group home setting that would help look after her. And it made her happy to change her life. Erin, was it because you were treated more like an adult? And they were not as concerned about what you couldn't do, because I'm pretty sure that parents are so keen to protect us. Yeah, and Kerry went through a year of really difficult times and difficult decisions. And at one point had moved into a situation where she was being mentally abused by a extended family member. And she made the decision to move from sunny California all the way to Kansas. But all the decisions she's made since then have actually impacted her life. And by the way, I wanted to congratulate Kerry on her new job. She's found out that sometimes you don't have to have an exercise plan. You just need to change your job. Because, Kerry, how many steps are you putting in a day, do you think? I don't know if your fitness thing gives you the steps, but I would think you're putting in a lot of steps. The reason I'm saying that is we are part of, there are a few of us that are part of a keeping track of our calories group. And what happens in some of the programs is that you actually can take the amount that you've walked and it adds them to your calories. So if you do a lot of exercise, you can add more calories. Well, I got to the stage where Kerry, oh no, you're doing a lot more than 1,000. No, you're doing a lot more than 1,000. Kerry, just so you know, I've done 1,000 today and I've done nothing, really. So I would say that you must be in the 20,000, 30,000 area. It'd be interesting to track that. And your smartphone will do it automatically. Which smartphone have you got? Okay. Now Linda's saying, that her dysfunctional family have reappeared. And if she hadn't come to Dear Mama Sal and understood about boundaries and dysfunction, she would have lost her sanity. How many of you realize that you thought you were the one that was insane? Because that's what it felt like. I want to do one broadcast, if you guys are interested, on anger. Yes, Jody, you really loved that word, didn't you? Jody's put up emotional pretzels. And that's what I said when I first met Jody and she was telling me a story. I just went, you are an emotional pretzel. You know, you are not grounded. You're an emotional pretzel. Now, if you're an emotional pretzel, everything that happens around you pulls your energy. Yeah, you've been through hell and back. You definitely have, Kerry. And you look where, you know, you're so grounded now by comparison. And Jody, the same thing. Jody's dealing with a lot of issues at the moment. And health-wise, you know, as is Erin. And so you look at it and you go, Erin taught me, when I met Erin, I had the honor to meet Erin a couple of years ago. And Erin has cerebral palsy and she is bedridden most of the time. And one of the things that I learned from Erin was that she was the living epitome of your attitude determines your life. And I want to tell you, when I start to get beat up on myself and I start to get having a pity party, my go-to mentality is Erin. And Erin, if you're still here, I want to thank you for that. Because you would have cried as I did to see Erin. Because she really has a mentality that is so positive. She doesn't have use of, Erin, how much of your body can you still control? As in functioning. You know what I mean? I don't mean that it's there, but that you can still function with. I look at Jody, who is, you know, suffering from lymphoderma, you know, where her whole body, it's like an elephant disease. All right. Her whole body has swollen up. And, you know, so that limits the way that she can do anything. You know, it limits, you know, she can't walk anymore properly. You know, it's changed her life completely. And why did she get the lymphoderma? From the drugs they gave her to get rid of the cancer. So it was like a catch-22, Jody, right? Got rid of the cancer, but then you ended up with another problem. Well, here's the thing. Linda's saying that it's amazing that, you know, her son has now started to realize how much his mom dealt with. And that's wonderful. Yeah, the radiation. Okay, so Sakura is also saying, once she started to join in with the broadcast, she started to interact with everybody, right? And listen to everybody's story, that indirectly, you know, it changed her life. And she started to look after herself better. You remember I always say, look after one another, but most of all, look after yourself. And Sakura is saying that she had a family member that was really toxic. And, you know, now that she understands the boundaries better, she can put a stop to him dumping all his hate for the world on her. And, you know, it's like, get out of the line of fire, right, Sakura? Like, oh, I'm sorry, I really do need to go. Or, oh, I need to go and clean up something. Or get out of the line of fire. Miserable people. Yeah, Kerry says a lot of her family is toxic. I assure you. You know, you thought you were the one that was weird, right? Now you can see it differently. I realize the reason that I cause so many problems with certain people is I refuse to be sucked in. I refuse to give you that control. And that really upsets a few people. Their problem, not mine. I just don't want to do that. So my question is, if you can see how these little things that I've done in my life changed my life forever, I wonder how you will make decisions starting today. Wow, listen to Sakura. Now what she does is she says to him, do you really want to talk to me like that? We only talk once in a while, and if you keep saying those things, I won't talk to you anymore. Yeah, I'm not going to stand here and let you abuse me. I'm so proud of you, honey. That's where parents overstep their boundary, right? They forget you grew up. And now what you're doing, Sakura, is you are showing your parent that you grew up. I'm so proud of you. How does it feel? So that little decision to put, and it's a big decision actually, the decision to put down a boundary has changed your life. Thank you. No, I didn't do it, Sakura. You did it. I talked about it. You did it. How many of you actually do have written goals that you write down? You finally grew up, Kira. Yeah. I want to tell you, growing up is quite a shock. When you stop acting like a child, it's amazing how your life changes. Judy, when you concentrate on being compassionate but not being a pretzel, how much more space do you have in your life, in your emotional life? Well, Triona, it's not easy to do, right? So that's why we talk about it almost every week. We talk about something that has to do with growing up. You know, because all these decisions that I made, in my past, they weren't all good ones, but I wouldn't be here if I hadn't made them. Sakura's saying that now she feels great, right? And she always wanted a real father type relationship, and she found it in her father-in-law. Isn't that amazing? So she now has a father figure. It's the same as I have family, Sakura. You know, my family is very distant from me, but I have this huge extended family. All right, so Erin's telling us she has use of one hand, one arm, but what she's saying is that she isn't actually really bedridden anymore. And if she didn't have the pressure sore, she'd be up every day. So that is a huge change, right, Erin? Because I think you spent a lot of your life on your bed before you moved. Now you're spending more time in your chair. Isn't that a beautiful thing to say, Sharon? Wow. Huh. I'm going to write that down. Opens up the toolbox. Yeah. Because I think what happens is you guys see me as something, isn't she lucky? She has this attitude. I work on this attitude every day. And some days not so easy. Now, for those of you who know about the street team, you know December finished in December, don't you? It's now April. and I'm still dealing with stuff from last year's December. Now, how many of you know you don't plan for that, right? You don't plan that 4 months later you'll still be answering questions. December never ends for me. You're right, Sakura. However, I did hear today, and this is very exciting to me, I did hear today that the final shipment of clothes is coming in this week, and they're going to be able to pack up and clear the backlog. I'll believe that when I see it. And then that job will be over for the year. But how many of you know that we'll be starting in earnest getting ready for 2018? Because we're already in April. Now, is that a decision that I made to give myself year-round work? Yeah, you're right. It's not the emails, it's the messages. I want to tell you, the street team has got really smart this year. They got really smart this year. They all got me on Messenger. By the way, does anybody know how to send out a message to everybody on your Messenger list? There must be a way. My story, I guess. I just want to know if, no, you already have the tools, Linda. Linda's saying, Sal gives us the tools. We decide whether we want to use them. Yes, but you didn't know how to use them. Okay. All right. Oh, Sakura knows how to do that. Erin, it's tartan day. Did you know that? Yeah, but is there a way to press 1 or 2 buttons and create a big group? Carrie's saying that the broadcasts feel more like home than her blood family. Interesting. Well, I think, Carrie, I think the reason is, wouldn't you love to be able to talk like this to your real family? How do you do a blanket, create a group of everybody on my list? I got rather a lot of people on my list, Sakura, but you have to add people to it. Okay, so like the elephant thing, all right? So every night I need to add a few more people to the bulk list. How do I know who isn't on the list when new people are on there? Yes, how many of you would love to be able to have, normal conversations the way that hopefully we do here? No, I know how to create a group list. I just wanted to know if there was a way to go, I'd like everybody that is already on my list to go into one group. Yes, Kerry, the whole thing is you can't have a normal conversation because they're so judgmental. How many of you, in being part of Dear Mama Sal, realized how much judgment there was in your life? Both of other people of you and then of you of other people. How many of you learned to let go of judgment a lot more? In other words, just let people be people, if you want to act like that, that's your right. I just, I'm not going to be around you. Yeah. And, I hope one day to get my friend Laurie sitting next to me so we can talk about the tough love that I did on her, when I literally said, I'm not your friend anymore. Because you're not treating me like one. and therefore I am going to stop being your friend. And she actually thanked me for that, said it probably saved her life, because she never dreamt that I would do that. And by the way, I will always be there for her. You know that. It's me. But intellectually, it was like, you are abusing me. I'm not going to continue this. Yes, Jody, we don't realize how much we were judging other people. And by the way, controlling them. Right? That we wanted to be ruler of the universe. And by the way, I found, Kerry, and other people who've got very toxic people in your life, it sometimes really does make it much easier to make a choice to be funny. And literally say to them, oh, I hear you telling me what to do. Did you become ruler of the universe? Because last time I checked, I decide what I want to do, not you. Because I'm an adult. But thanks for trying. It failed, but thanks for trying. Catch me on a bad day, not on a good one. How many of you have noticed that? On a good day, you can cope with almost anything. On a bad day, you're very vulnerable. And how many of you now know? Oh, sorry, I'm just reading. Linda just wrote, Sal, on a side note, my son Nicholas says, thank you for giving me my mummy back. And pardon me while I use a tissue. Oh, gosh. Okay, Nicholas, listen up. Your mummy gave you your mummy back. She did the work, and it wasn't easy, Nicholas. It wasn't easy for her. I can tell you that she's a very brave lady. And Nicholas, there is a very well-known saying in the world, and it says that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. In other words, she wanted to learn how to change her life. And I just happened to be the person that was talking about it. But she did the work, Nicholas, not me. She was the one that every day tried to give up smoking and did. And she was the one that started to put down boundaries and become happier. And how many of you were so scared that if I put down a boundary, I will lose everybody? Did any of you fear that? If I actually start taking my control back, I'm going to lose everybody. I love it. Triona says, on a good day, I won't take any, what. It's right. When you're in a good mood, they can throw things at you and it bounces off. When you are sad or having a pity party, they throw things at you and you suck it all in. And, I just knew it was bad. Yeah. So I think that this whole thing about our choices determine our reality. Lauren, I'm going to go back to Erin. So when I first saw Erin, I'd seen her on video chat, but when I actually went into the room where her bedroom, and when I sat on the bed with her and watched how she types. Now, Erin, forgive me, I'm going to try and imitate this, and it's not going to be pity, and know that I am not meaning any disrespect. You know me better than that. Hang on a second, I just want to plug my phone in here. So literally, when I met Erin, she was lying on her left side, and she had her iPhone here, and literally she was typing like this. Because that's, she doesn't have full mobility. She can use, actually this phone, I think, she sort of almost cradles it. And And then after a while, she needed to get onto her front. Well, rolling onto her front was a major problem. Right? So, I watched her. How many hours was I with you, Erin? 4 hours or something? And you probably don't realize it, but other than the fact that I talk nonstop, you do know that I took in an awful lot of you. Yeah, I thought it was about 4 hours. I literally watched you, function. And by the way, her daddy cooked us an incredible meal. I still remember that meal. And Ange was there, and those of you who know Leah and Alice, the four of us went down. We had gone to Vegas together, and then we decided to do the road trip. But Erin, what you will never quite understand is the impact that had on my life. Because boy, are you a wonderful shining example of what courage is and what attitude does. And I would really have to tell you something, that there are a few people that I have met that had Erin's mentality. And I don't know, Erin, I presume that you were never taught to. Wow. Sorry, Erin's just saying yes, and she saw me and watched me. So you were watching me, watching you? Could you feel me? Could you feel me? I don't know if this makes sense, Erin, but could you feel me going, I want that courage. I want that attitude. And not in a selfish way. It was just like, I want to remember this. I want to remember this pink room, and I want to remember everything that is so magical. And that's the question I would have of you, Erin. Were you taught not to be bitter? I put up a quote this week from Maya Angelou, and where she said, it's okay to be angry, just don't be bitter. You see, angry, you have every right to be angry every now and then. But that's what I have to say about Erin. I didn't see bitterness at all. It was like she wasn't bitter that she was so incapacitated. She was just of the mentality, I'll do whatever I can. Yes, everything we put out there, all of our thoughts, this is what Maggie's saying, all of our thoughts are what create our realities. I think not just, you're saying not just our decisions, all of our thoughts. Well, you see, we decide to think that way. Every morning when I get up, I could be having a bad day. Oh my gosh, my allergies, as you can probably hear, but I decided not to remember to take my allergy pill before I did the broadcast today, right? Not intentionally, but that's what happened. Look at my eyes, they're streaming, and, listen to my nasal stuff. So, but this is like, I can either complain about it all the broadcast, or I can just get on with the job. All right, now then, one of the things that Jody and Lauren, Jody and Lauren are my private little support team on a day-to-day basis, because they choose to be, and I love them for it. But one of the things they will tell you about me is that I will work until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, if necessary, to prepare for these broadcasts, because I cannot sleep until I know, okay, I know what we're going to be talking about. And everybody will say to me, you need to get some sleep. Oh, isn't this wonderful? This is Nicholas. Linda's saying he's typing. Thank you, Auntie Sal. It takes ages to type, but I love hearing you. I know I have a good mummy, but she is better when she has listened to you. She says you talk sense. Well, Nicholas, I think we're very lucky to have you too, because you see things for what they are. And I want to tell you, the fact that you can see such a difference in your mommy is just amazing to me. And I really thank you for letting me know that, and for caring enough about me to let me know that. Because, you know, Nicholas, the reason I do what I do is because I know it's needed. The reason I spend so many hours in the week working on DearMamaSal isn't because I've got nothing else to do. It's because I know that it does make a difference in people's lives. And, you know, you telling me, Nicholas, tells me that again. And what if I hadn't started to broadcast? What if your mommy hadn't got brave enough to stop lurking in the background and actually come into the foreground? What if she hadn't let me hit her over the head with a 2x4 with some reality checks? So you see, Nicholas, you have a very courageous mom. She's very brave, because she actually was able to see that she dug herself a hole that was just, she was going to drop deeper and deeper into. And the only way to get out of the hole was to change. And Nicholas, we know that changing is difficult. You know that, Nicholas, that you know how much you hate change. But what I want you to remember is that sometimes change is good. Sometimes change will change your whole life. And that's important to know. You know, it's important to know that we all make good decisions and bad decisions. We all struggle. I cannot tell you how many times I nearly quit. On doing DearMamaSal, you know, because I wasn't well enough, or, you know, I didn't have the energy. I didn't, you know, why would anybody listen to me? You know, terrible stuff. But, you know, I kept remembering your mommy and Leslie in Scotland, and, you know, all the other people that we had helped. And I went, what if there's another person out there? And Maggie, you're right. She's saying, Sharon, if you put down a boundary and lost that person, they were never worthy of the gift that is you. Maggie's so true, right? I mean, and I'd like to say this, you know, about this friend of mine that I put down the strong boundary and said, you know, forget it. I am no longer the friend that I was. I want you to know that, because you're no longer treating me like a friend. And here she is, you know, just a couple of weeks ago, having a meal with me and thanking me for doing that. Thanking me for putting down a solid boundary that says, you may not treat me like this. I will not allow you to treat me like this. I would rather not have you as a friend than be treated like this, because this is not fair. It's not right. Jody, you know, I want to go back to where we started, in a way, about the fact that next week I'm going off to do a speech down in the States. And I don't know, I guess it was in my 20s, I found out that people listened to me. And they didn't listen to me because I was perfect. They listened to me because they could see I wasn't perfect, you know, and they could relate to that. So part of what I want to go back to about this speech is that what I want to tell these people is, if you want to be inspiring, you know, let people participate. Am I right? You know, I think the reason we've learned so much on the broadcast is because you guys have shared so much. If you didn't share, then we wouldn't have Linda's story. We wouldn't have Leslie's story. We wouldn't have Jodie's story. We wouldn't have had Lauren's story. You know, I think about all these things, or Paul's story. By the way, it's his birthday this week on the 12th. You know, so you look at it and you go, I think, do any of you know the word synergy? That's where you take, I really got the sniffs now. Synergy, it's where you have two parts. But when you join those two parts together, it creates a third, right? Wow. Kerry's saying to Erin, when I look at you, I don't see your illness. I see you as an amazing friend and an amazing sister. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. And Erin, I see you on a pedestal that you probably don't want to be on. I'm sorry about that. But it's true. You know, when I sometimes fall into the trap of feeling really badly because I call on Jodie a lot to be my backup because she's so good at it. And then every now and then I'll go, I wonder if I'm overloading her. You know, and then I think, you know, she needs to tell me if I am. But would she want to? You know, would she feel she was letting me down if she wasn't up to doing something? So I've got to, you know, be aware on both sides and check in. So now I learned something. That's the other thing I wanted to check with you guys, you know, about the choices determine our reality. When I look at it, every day I don't intentionally do it, but I really notice, because of the fact I'm a vlogger, that, you know, so many times during the week, and I would think almost every day, I challenge myself to do something. Okay, I'm going to ask you not to promise me, Jodie. Jodie's saying to me, I would tell you, I promise. It's my pleasure to help. I know that. I don't want you to promise, Jodie, because there may be a time when that's not true. And you know what I mean? Where because of drugs or whatever, you might not have the wherewithal to tell me. So don't promise. Right? I stop promising things to people. I will say to them, it's my intent to do this. I just want you to know that. I won't promise you because life sometimes gets in the way, but it is my sincere intent. Does that make sense to you guys? I used to promise so many things to people, and then I'd feel terrible because I let them down. And I hate breaking promises. And for those of you who thanked me for carrying on when I was sick, Jodie included, I want to tell you something. It's, I think it was a two-way trade, if you like. I knew that I still could help people even though I was sick, but on the other hand, I'm not that noble. All right, you guys need to get me off that pedestal. I also knew that you guys would help me. And so it's really been wonderful for me. You know, Kerry, I look at the things that you've done in the last few years, and I know that, you know, if ever I want a really straight shooter, you know, with a very large 2x4, you know, I'd pick Kerry any day, right? Because Kerry can, you know, really does call a spade a shovel. You know, she doesn't mess around. But also has a great heart. I look at Jodie. Jodie would give you the very bed on which she lies. She is that generous of spirit. So, you know, and Lauren has been amazing. I just want to tell you, Lauren, in the last couple of weeks, you know, has been in hospital and is still in hospital. And yet she still is in touch with us. Hey, Jodie, she's in touch with us throughout the day almost, regardless of what's going on. And I keep thinking that maybe in our own way, just the fact that we have that relationship makes the day better for Lauren as well. All right, which is, if she's not telling us how she's doing, we're questioning it. Did she get up? Did she wake up today? Right? She's an absolute trooper. You made a new friend today, Kerry. That's the risk, right? A huge risk to make a new friend. The same way as you're going to see, I'm going to put up this video where I made the pop-up cards, and I want you to see how many times I attempted to do this and how many times I failed. And I kept thinking, I'm glad I've got the camera in with me, because you guys would not believe that. All right. You guys probably think I'm naturally talented at everything, and I'm not. I will have to say that the etching cream was probably one of the easiest things that I've ever done. You know what I mean? I did it the first time I tried it, it worked. And the second time, it was magnificent. You know what I mean? It's like some things like quitting smoking or whatever. Some things are just going to fall into place naturally. Others are going to take you a lifetime. And that is the other thing I wanted to say. I am pretty sure that Erin makes a decision somewhere every day to have a good attitude. See you later, Sakura. Thank you for being here, and thank you for your honesty. And Sakura, just keep doing a little bit every day. Don't go mad, right? There's no point in hurting your back. That's not looking after yourself. And get the IB broken out and take a couple of IB brokens if you need them, right? So, Kerry, the reason you made a friend is because you looked friendly. The reason you made a friend is you probably left the house. Always remember somebody saying to me, if you want to make, if you want a man in your life, you might want to leave the house occasionally. Go out into the real world. They're not lining up outside your front door. And it's strange, isn't it? So when you realize that these little decisions that we make every day, if you're lonely, do something about it. Don't be a victim and say, it's not fair, nobody likes me. Well, it's true. Who wants to be around a miserable person? Now, I'm not saying a grieving person, that's something else, right? Somebody who's grieving, that's something. But somebody who is miserable, you all know that person, right? In your life. They are constantly a victim to life. And they refuse to do anything to change what they're doing. I made it a goal a year ago. I want to, and I'm going to work towards getting out of the obese category. Now, to be out of obese, I need to drop down to 195 pounds. And I got all the way to 200 at the end of last year, and I put on weight, and for some reason, I'm not dropping it. But you know something? I am still on that path, right? My choices, what I'm putting in my mouth is determining what I'm seeing on the scale. What I'm choosing not to do in the way of exercise is determining what I see on the scale. Does this make sense to anybody? My choices determine whether I lose weight or not. So look at your life and see what goals you have. And as we were saying earlier, what small step? What small step can you take? Sorry, I got distracted because Nicholas has typed another message. Nicholas says, please say hi to my daddy, Michael. My mom says I can type again and speak to you again. Mommy says you speak so much sense. Mommy says if I have a problem, Yes, he's saying that if I have a problem, I can talk to you. Nicholas, you can talk to me. Absolutely. And Nicholas, if I don't know whether you're allowed to use emails or anything, but if you want to write to me and just put Nicholas in the subject line so I will know, I will start with it when I open up my emails. And hi to Michael. Hi, Daddy Michael. And Michael, I am sorry because part of me feels responsible for the fact that you are now relegated to not smoking where you used to, and you're not allowed to smoke in the car. And I hope you will forgive me for that, because I am pretty certain that that must have made you very angry. And and I part of me apologizes, but we know Linda's a happier person for it. And by the way, for those of you who think that Linda did this easily, boy, did she have a problem giving up cigarettes in the car. Am I right, Linda? So, baby steps. I'm out of time. Baby steps. So, Nicholas, thank you so much for being here. Give me a big smile, honey. Michael, nice to meet you indirectly. And to everybody here, thank you so much for being here. Remember, if you want to be on the mailing list, please contact me at dearmamasal@gmail.com and just put yes to the list in the subject line and I will add you in there. I'll probably send you a form that asks for a couple of more details just so I know just security wise, we need to know who we've got signing up. So everybody be very, very aware that the choices we make every day, every year, every moment, every hour, the choices you will make in the next 30 seconds could change your life. I want to send you all a big hug. Remember, it's tartan day, so if you got some, for whatever time you've got left, wave it around or do something. And I was so glad I hadn't packed this. This is Dear Mama Sal, reminding you, please, 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 if you've got any subjects you'd like us to talk about during the broadcast or during a vlog, just let me know. I have a list of stuff that I keep, and whenever I'm about to do a broadcast or if ever I'm about to do a vlog, I look at that list. And if enough people have been asking me about this subject, I will talk about it. Or if I think this is a really important story that people need to hear, I will talk about it, or I'll use it as a case study on a broadcast. You see, your reality can change somebody's life. As we've said with Erin's reality, has inspired so many people. Jody's reality has inspired so many. Kerry, your realities and mentalities, have made so many people laugh and helped so many people. And they couldn't ask for a better friend. And I look at it and go, you decided to do this, people. Linda, you make sure that Nicholas gives you something he'd like to change. And then let's teach him how he can do that within his abilities. I think that would be so positive for him if we can help him. As some of you may know, we've had one viewer who has autism, and when he came onto the broadcast, he did nothing but swear. And it was really interesting because I wrote to him and I said, I'm really sorry, but I cannot have you swearing like this on every broadcast. It just isn't what we do. And therefore, if you want to be part of the broadcast, you need to make a decision to stop swearing. And he wrote back to me and says, but I can't help it. I have autism. And I said, okay, that's your choice. I'm just telling you, if you want to be in the broadcast, you need to learn how to control that. And some of you know this person, and some of you will know that he basically can do a whole broadcast now without swearing, or if he does swear, he is well aware that he made a mistake. So, and Linda's just saying that yes, for a few weeks that not smoking in the car was a real issue, but she's all on board now. So Nicholas has just skipped to bed. Isn't that wonderful? All right, everybody. So remember, as we do 3 times a week, remember to look after one another. Isn't that what we do here? What we do here is we listen to people's stories and we talk about them and we let them know they're not alone. And we teach people that being a victim is a choice. It's not a reality unless we choose. Being happy, as Erin teaches us and Jody teaches us, being kind and letting go of bitterness is a choice. Alice, so good to see you. We were talking about you earlier. I'm sorry, I'm just leaving, but you can catch the rebroadcast should you choose to. Raising teens. I would definitely have that discussion, although I don't have knowledge, but I could certainly have knowledge from the wrong end of it. I've certainly heard enough stories about the mothers raising teens. I'll put it in, Fiona, I'll put that in the thing. Remember, if you want to be on the VIP mailing list, please contact me at DearMamaSal@gmail.com and put yes to the list in the subject matter. That way, I will make sure that you get the new stuff that's going around. All right, everybody, great broadcast. Thank you so much. And I hope that you all enjoy the streaming that we're doing on YouTube. And how many of you like the fact that we're leaving the broadcast up so that you can re-see them if you want to, or share them with a friend? By the way, that is another point. If you know there's a bit of story that one of your friends could really do with listening to, just go through and just mark where it starts and just send them the link and say, go to this point and listen to the story and see if you can help somebody, right? That decision could help change somebody's life. What was I talking about? I was talking about the 4 of us in, or the 3 of us in with Erin, and how that changed my perception of so many things. And how whenever I need strength, I think about us sitting there watching her. So, yeah. All right, everybody. This is DearMamaSal saying, please remember to look after one another. But first of all, please, 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 please start by looking after yourself. Bye-bye for now. And now I will spend a little time trying to find the buttons I have to turn off. I'm going to make that decision. 1,